It has been a fantastic week.
New text message from +1.
Yeah, wait. I think we just turn it right down, yeah.
Yeah.
So Elizabeth, my cousin, and I decided to come into Starbucks for everybody. Everybody was a little late getting going.
New text message.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Now my phone's going to have a complete stroke. That's good. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything you can do. That might do it. That might do it. So, I had posted a video this morning, how I felt about the Gold Cup. I wanted to be standalone because I didn't want anybody thinking when you're a driver, there's a portion of what went on in the race, whether you drove bad or you drove good or you did something or you didn't. You know, you have to be able to put that away, especially I do when I'm doing these videos. And although I was thoroughly pleased with the Gold Cup in itself from a financial standpoint and from the way I drove, I did know how it impacted other people and one person in particular. So I wanted to make a standalone video of that. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely on our video menu for today. But I wanted to talk about, Prince Edward Island in general and how I had mixed feelings all week. I felt embarrassed that I hadn't been here the last time I made that video talking about how I was driving around like an idiot looking for Siemens Orange Pop when they hadn't bottled it since 2020 in Prince Edward Island, and how that dated the last time I was actually, because I guarantee you I've never been here a full week and never had any. So I had not been to Prince Edward Island in the capacity to drink Orange Pop since 2020. Not when I raced Sintra. Somebody said, well, no, Anthony, you were here. You won the Gold Cup and Saucer in 2022. Yeah, I did. I was here for 7 hours in total that year. Flew in at 5 and was on a plane at 2 o'clock in the morning out of Moncton. I don't know why they had planes at 2 o'clock in the morning. But
You were happy about it.
yeah, it was like a rendition flight. We were there long enough to get scooped up and leave the Maritimes, but who flies at 2 o'clock in the morning? I don't understand that. But anyway, that was the last time. That was not the last time I was on PEI. Well, I think it was, because the next year my flight was canceled and I couldn't come down last year.
You came for the funeral, no?
I couldn't. No, I was gone away.
Oh, right.
Yes, I was gone away, and that bothered me too. Thanks for bringing that up. That's good.
Sorry.
I just, we get so busy, and if you're like me at all, when there's, almost every day of my life, I could do 3 different things, and I have to pick one. And it was far too long that PEI wasn't picked. And when we get down here on Sunday, almost immediately, the realization you're here for 8 days sets in, which is a great thing. I got to drive around town, go to the burn areas, and it didn't seem like wherever we parked our car that was somebody that knew me. We went to the baseball game. It was out in Milton yesterday. Just a little park. The coaches and the dads are there. The kids are playing. Lincoln was playing. It was so fun. It brought me back memories of when Ollie was playing, baseball at that age. Lincoln's only 5 or 6 years old. And when they were done playing, before they were done playing, I went up and I got a video of Lincoln, as you guys may have seen, how I always, maybe I don't post a lot of them at Molly, but how I'm right behind the screen. I just wanted to get a good view of him, and I had the camera on. And as he's walking up the plate, the opposing coach, or one of the coaches, looks at me and goes, "Hey, Anthony, what are you doing here?" I hadn't seen the person, same age as me, so I'm assuming I went to school with him. I said, "Oh, it's my brother's boy right there, Lincoln." "Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's great." It was John Murphy. I hadn't seen John Murphy since high school, Bluefield. But that was all week, and every time I ran into somebody, all the feelings or all the memories I had with that particular person. It's funny how your brain works, right? They come flooding back. It didn't matter whether it was grade 11 biology or whether it was a baseball tournament or whether it was just your childhood in one way or another. It all comes flooding back. So all week I'm overloaded with all these emotions. It was the weirdest thing. And then, to win with that horse, Woodmere Rocket, it was special, obviously. this is a week when we lost my uncle last year. So, again, a lot of emotions in the McDonald family to begin with. But I walk around the island and look at all the people I grew up around and grew up with and realize how much time I missed not being here. And as I said, I'm not James or Mark or any one of those drivers. And I'm going to do my best to make sure I get down here every week for the week. Because now I remember how stupid I felt that it's been so long. So it was a great week in general. The food was great. Amy was mad. She goes, all these nice restaurants and you drug me to Greco Donair and Pizza Delight and China Garden Chinese food. I said, well, honey, these are the places that I missed. I had a checklist. You guys know that. I went through it. Places I wanted to go. Couldn't get into Maid Marian's right off the plane. There was too many people waiting in line, so I went to Greco. Just moved on to the next one on the list. Donairs were amazing. I ate Donairs at Greco, Pizza Delight, and the new place that Curtis told me in Stratford Pizza, I think it's called. All of them were amazing. Garlic fingers, can't beat them. Egg rolls. I ate enough egg rolls to turn into an egg roll this week. Everywhere we went, everything we did, it was very, very good. And I've told you guys a million times, you have to go to Lexington, you have to go here, you have to go there. I'll post some videos later on. I do have to edit out the audio at the end of the race. But I'll post some videos later on, and you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about the electricity in the Gold Cup and Saucer, the people that show up there. These aren't gamblers on the rail, not necessarily. These are people from the town. Now, I know they used to shut the town down at 9 o'clock. I assume they still do, for the most part. Because most of it was at the Charlottetown Driving Park last night. It had to be 20, 30,000 people there. And everybody having a good time. But as we raced down here this week, and I was trying to talk to people and answer emails, and I apologize if you're one of the people that didn't get a message or an email back from me. I am working on them, but I got an awful lot every single day. I tried to answer what I could, and when I couldn't answer, I tried to push it to the top of the line to get answered. Excuse me. Amy is wiped out today. You know, what I was beginning to say when we left Starbucks is, as a mom, you come down here, you're still a mom, right? When I was a kid, that Midway was the biggest kindergarten on PEI. Yeah. It was free range, right? You had to behave yourself, but you could go out in the Midway. And, I let Ava and Ollie and Addie go out in the Midway together. And Jamie, super protective mom, but she's supposed to be. Those are her kids. Same thing. But as the week went on, the leash got a little longer. And the leash got a little longer. The leash got a little longer. And by the last night, can we go to the Midway? Go away. Get away. Go to the Midway. Yeah, just make sure you come back. And it was a lot of fun for the kids, too. That's the longest leash. I'm pretty easy on our kids, but that's the longest leash they've been on in a very long time. And I'm assuming Lennon and Lincoln also. So it was a lot of fun for us. But Amy didn't get to relax in the same way. Where are the kids going? What are we doing? We got to go to the beach tomorrow. Got to plan to go to the beach tomorrow. We got to get sunscreen. We got to get everywhere else. We got to do this. We got to do that. What's this person doing? Is he telling us to go a different way because there's people running in the rain?
Hey, sorry, the road's closed for the fun run. So
Yeah.
it's going to get you to turn around, unfortunately.
Well, it's not fun for everybody, is it?
How is it closed for the fun run?
Yeah, you know what we're going to do?
We drove right by them.
Yeah, if everybody comes this way for the fun run in the rain, which isn't fun in the rain, by the way.
Yeah.
That guy's just a little more angry than I am.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean...
Then don't have people up. Put a sign at the end of the road that
Right,
says
yeah.
road closed to traffic to traffic on this road only.
Like before the turn.
This is dumb. Anyway, whatever. It's not a big deal. Maybe a little longer getting back to the house. So, for Amy, it was extremely exhausting. It was extremely exhausting all week. And last night, she just got to sit there and watch the races. Now, I knew when I won with Nick Oaks' horse last night that the kids were going to want to get their picture taken. So I was a little slow coming back to the winner's circle. But I was impressed. They ran from Jamie Smith's barn all the way to the winner's circle and made it there to get their picture taken. They were all winded and all gassed, but it's part of the week, right? I didn't get to win the Gold Cup, and I didn't get to win the Mike McDonald Memorial, but I did win with Nick's horse. I did win with Woodmere Rocket, and when it comes to time is on my side, he didn't get his picture taken in PEI, but I'll tell you what, that was quite the performance that he put on. So as I was about to say, we were doing some racing down here, and I was on tour a little bit. We still had lots of racing up country, so I want to talk about how all the horses did this week. Now, you may have noticed, I don't know what's going on with the calendar, but there was a couple of Scioto races missing. There was some Pennsylvania races missing from yesterday. And it's not, Curtis doesn't manually input these, right? I tell everybody all the time. These are drawn out of the USTA and Standard Bank Canada, and I can't tell you why Tally the Tab wasn't on yesterday's calendar. I can't tell you why JK Maga wasn't, or Dublin's Ferrani the middle of the week. They just weren't. And people are like, oh, that's crap. He's doing the best he can. I mean, it's not like we pay a fortune for the calendar. It's just one of the things that we have in place. I don't know why there's stuff missing, and I think that we can work on that. We can work on that. I'm not so sure going out the other way isn't the best way to go. Going through Cornwall or going around them and going up Bannockburn Road.
That might be. Well, because I wish they told us which way they were running.
Yeah, you know what? They can run all they want. I'm going to go this way. But how far does this Highway 1 route take you?
It's like a good 5 minutes extra. I mean,
no, but does it take you past where they're running? Well, I guess we're going to find out. So. It's just another reason. You want me to date how long I've been here? This road? Every millimeter of this road was not in place when the last time I drove down here.
Yeah.
I said to Amy, where the hell does this road come from? This is a highway.
This is a highway.
This is a highway built on the island, and I've never driven on it. So it comes out by my house. Anyway.
I was here when it was built. I still don't really know where it goes.
I know it bypasses what we just did, but it brings you up to where it's closed. So I don't know what exits are after this, but I don't know why everybody doesn't go. It's one city block off of Kingston Road, and it takes you right through into North River. I said to Dad, why don't you jump on the bypass? Oh, I don't do that. He's like, I like the bypass is evil because it...
No, but it does add some time. It's not faster, actually.
No, to go to our house, maybe.
Yeah.
But to go to where that cemetery was...
yeah. No,
it is faster.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So, with respect to the calendar, I don't know. We're always working on stuff. We got a million things we need to work on at the stable. The most important thing to understand is we're not going anywhere, right? There's a lot to do, and there's always something to do. See, the roads closed now. Those would have been good at the other end of that road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least that means we know that that's not where we turn.
Yeah, and we're going to have to go down the other way anyway to go to Mom's farm. So, there it is. Fun for a fun run. There's lots we can do, lots we're going to do, and lots we will do moving forward with respect and the calendar and lots of other things going on in the stable. But baby steps. We're doing the best we can, and I know that Curtis is also. So we're going to circle all the way back to last week when I landed in PEI. That was actually Saturday. We're going to talk about Sunday, though. Neptune raced unbelievably good. Now, last night, he didn't race so good. He got chewed up a little bit, took him back. Did he shut his air off? I'm not sure. But as I said to Jason also, anytime he gets lathered up real bad like that, his neck starts usually flat. We need to do a better job working on the horse himself throughout the week. Maybe a few more fluids put into him, as opposed to just a normal run-of-the-mill week. That's something we can talk about when I get back. But last Sunday he raced fantastic. Bulldog Bell pays 51-4. You can't complain. And first over in the last turn at 51-4. I thought the filly raced very, very good. Bella Dale finished a good fourth, 27-1 on the end of it. Now you can see somebody messaged me and said, Anthony, why are so many people selling shares in some of these horses? And I'm not going to name names, but there's the same people selling them. The reason being they're putting together money for the sale, right? They don't want to keep Belladale. If she's not going to be a stake filly in 2026, they would rather look for a horse that we're getting at a Lexington or Harrisburg. And I think it's important to note that's a good thing for everybody, because if they're willing to sell shares of Belladale at $250, you should be willing to pick them up. I know I would. I had all the money. I mean, Belladale is a nice filly, and just because she hasn't been a stone cold stake filly in 2026, I can't really tell you it has anything to do with her attitude, work ethic, or overall ability. I think all three things are still in place. It was more circumstance than anything else, in my opinion, with Belladale, and we'll see how she does for the rest of the summer into the fall when we put her away, what she looks like when she comes back. But the fact that some of our bigger clients are dumping shares in preparation of the sales coming up is it creates a situation for all of our clients. I think that's a good thing, and everybody should focus on that also. Winter Soldier makes a break from the rail. You know, I made a point to say to Jason, Monday afternoon I have to race in Kentucky, and I'm going to drive back and race Winter Soldier in the 16th race. I want to know what's going on with this horse. The throwing his head, the acting up, that's on him. He can be a little bullish sometimes, but not like that. Not like that. So I want to see what's going on with him and see if we can't square him away. I assume this is where we're going, Clyde River. No.
Yeah.
Get him squared away on Monday, and that's why I'm coming back. Amy's like, you can't possibly come back. And then I said, well, I do have time, and I am going to. I'm going to come back and drive Winter Soldier on Monday evening, I believe. Exky was scratchy, a little bit of filling in one leg from bouncing around in the stall the night before when they had that big giant thunderstorm. I didn't even realize how much it rained. There was like a foot of water in the outside stalls in Kentucky for some of the stables out there. They had to clean everything out, and in that vicious thunderstorm, some of the horses do act up sometimes. And what are we doing here?
I think that way. Maybe that's weird.
What?
I think that's the way you go, and then it kind of like loops around underneath.
Well, this is maybe the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
It's okay, just keep driving straight.
Well, I can't do anything about it now. Why don't you just take the next one? I don't know. It's insane.
It goes all the way to the bridge, but we won't take the bridge.
I'm certain there's stops to go back, isn't there?
There is, yes.
We'll take the next one. So Exky will get her racing this week. I think I'm driving her on Wednesday. Don't Ask Again, I thought raced pretty good, all things considered. Draws a 9-hole again this week coming up. Now, that's not what I wanted to see. St. Sarah, definitely what I wanted to see this week again. Paced 56, 28 in the end of it. I was really appreciative that Aaron went easy on her. You know, kind of was real soft with her coming off the card. Didn't put her in a position to be first over. She did her work very well, and he did his work very well also. And Lou Armstrong, I thought Justin did a great job driving him. That's what he was going to get, but quietly, although he is improving, and although I do believe he is, I know where he at. This takes us down the back road. That's, what's his name's place? Mitch Turney's, I think, old place. And as I do think that Lou Armstrong is one of the top 5 or 6 colts in Ohio, we have positioned ourselves now to be in the final of the Buckeye and the consolation of the Sire Stakes, which I think is a real good place to be. I think there's a gas station here. We were here the other day, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we drove by here and stopped here the other day. This takes us right in behind our house.
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought Lou Armstrong raced good, and Justin drove him good, and I think we're in a great position with Lou Armstrong heading into the fall. The only question remains, somebody said, one more Sire Stakes? No more Sire Stakes. We'll either go in the Buckeye or the Breeders' Championship on Jug Week. And if I'm going to be completely honest, the Championship's probably going to race for between, I don't know, 30 and 50,000, and the Buckeye's going to race for 20. Will likely be 3 to 5 in the Buckeye, and not 3 to 5 in the Breeders' Championship. Now, depending on what we draw, we could be bet down. But I think, and I don't want to sound arrogant, so I'm going to say it as easily as I can. I think we're going to take the softer approach. As I say it right now, I think we're going to take the softer approach with the Buckeye. But again, things can change over the next couple of weeks. On Tuesday, we watched Degas race huge again, second in 52-4. I thought she raced amazing in Kentucky. In fact, I've said that a lot this year, haven't I? Even I am surprised sometimes. I knew when Yannick let Braditude go, it looked like Braditude wasn't having a great day. And it looked like she was kind of spent when she made front, which put us in the position where we had to be, first, second, third over. Yannick was able to slide her to the outside, and she finished second. She raced very, very good, and he drove her good. And then with Jailbird Jog, she got shut off, starting up the inside, lost her momentum, and had to come back to life. 51, raced very, very good. Scope good after, and was fine after. Now, when it comes to Jailbird Jog, still lots of stuff we're going to do. She still wears that ear hood, and she still wears flip-flops up front. Both of which Yannick and James, who's going to get to drive on her next week, both Yannick and James have said, what about racing her barefoot? A number of our clients asked us last year. I was against it, but it's not like we have races to burn. But at the same time, her next Sire Stake race is a field of 12 the last two times, and she was fourth both times. If the same horses for the most part stick around, she's already in the final. So I think next week, the third leg, is probably the time to pull those shoes on her, see how she is like that. I suspect we'd have to race her with shoes in the fourth. If everything went well, we'd race her with shoes in the fourth and then pull them for the final. That would be what we're kind of going to do. Somebody asked me, Anthony, why does everybody pull shoes and take their shoes? Honestly, I don't know. They do go a little bit faster sometimes because I think they hit a little bit less. It's obviously a little more natural, I guess, and some horses really respond well to it. I'm a little unfamiliar with doing it. Now, it's not rocket science. You're just taking the shoes off their feet, nothing more. But I am curious myself also to see what Jailbird Jug would do. We were never in a position before. We were always scratching and clawing to get somewhere with her, so we didn't have a race to experiment, so to speak. But I think the third leg of the Sire Stakes is one of those that we maybe can. And that's probably what we are going to do. Wednesday, I thought Frolic raced good, but a little hot under scope. There was a little ulcer on her palate. We're going to bring her back to Northfield. She may race once more. I know somebody said, why don't we turn her out? Geez, I would love to get a 2-year-old mark on this filly. And for a filly that's trotting in 56, 57, now 58, I don't see that as regression. I just see it as how she is. I would like to open her up a little bit, put an open bridle on her, put the earplugs on her, let her relax and race her on the half. And the only reason I say that is because I watched her train at Northfield, and she looked as good as I've ever seen her in her life 3 weeks ago. One of my buddies grew up right here on this turn. It's funny, you're not quite as old as me, but you go back through places and you remember where people lived. And
Yeah.
I haven't seen these people in over 2 decades. They probably still don't live there, to be honest. Right there. Thursday, Gorgeous Package was a winner. Looked very, very good. And Arrowhead Hanover was a winner. Almost a perfect day, except the calendar wasn't perfect. We were missing some horses. Dublin's Ferrani raced really, really well. I thought Sweet and Steady's first start, she raced really well also. And I can't remember who else we raced that night, but they were second also, I believe. If I'm not, Judy's Money was second also. So we had 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a good first start, lifetime 6th, but a good start for Sweet and Steady. So Thursday was good. Friday was a disaster. The Atomics Hanover at 3-1 faltered. We found out why right away. It showed some blood, some mucus. Does that mean Lasix? It could. Very well could. We're going to work on him, get his blood work back, see if we can't get him squared away and straight and perfect. Should. He's a young horse. He should be fine. We'll get him squared away for his next start, which is the Pennsylvania Sires final. 7 or 8 days from right now. A week from Monday is when it is. So he'll be back at Northfield Park quick. We'll get him looked at. Complete Unknown, I thought raced good. Even if he makes a Stallion Series final, I'm not really a big fan of racing, unless I guess it is at the Meadows, but I don't think we're going to race him in it. I thought he raced good the other day. Corey Callahan was happy with him. You come first over from 7th and find no cover into a last quarter of 27 seconds flat. and you're an okay competitor in that field, you're a good 6, 8, 10, 12 to 1 type horse, you're going to get what you got. And I thought that nobody's fault. I thought everybody did their job with respect to Complete Unknown. I thought he raced good, finished well, and I was very happy with him. Chicago Hall, as I said yesterday, you just can't be first over. Can't gun him down the backstretch like that. He'll fizzle out, especially when his racing has been scattered, 2 weeks here, 3 weeks there, which is fine for him as far as his longevity is concerned. But the first over hard in the third quarter, it's never going to end well for you with Chicago Hall. I just know that with him. And there's no way for Trevor Smith would have known that. And then we fast forward to Saturday. There were some horses missing from the calendar also. Namely, Tally the Tab. She got her air shut off, which this is why we don't put her on the starting gate. And, I think some of the younger kids, when it goes to driving the horses, they want to hold them back, and time the gate. But that isn't what we're doing. You guys will see me seesaw the horses a little bit. I want them to release the bit from their mouth so they aren't clamped down on it. They aren't fighting with you, and they don't shut their air off. And you could tell probably at the quarter pole when she's gapped back a bit, down the backstretch when she's gapped back a bit, she had her air shut off. So it was unfortunate, but it happens. I wish it didn't happen, but it does. It did, and it will in the future. But with respect to Tally the Tab, she raced good. J.K. Mega to get away 7th and then finish up the way he did. I thought he raced really well also. We're going to go through everybody and then finish off with Woodmere Bullet. This would be my wife. And then finish off with Woodmere Bullet. Time is on my side. Woodmere Bullet raced well. He's coming up country with us. That was a good mile from him, and I think he will actually fit in up there. You can tell on a bigger track he'll be... now she knows I'm here. On a bigger track, he'll be much, much better. I was really happy with Woodmere Bullet, the way he performed and the way he finished up. He could have been an okay 4th, 3rd, and everybody would have been happy. Instead, he was a closing 2nd. I thought he raced really well also. Perfect Thought. I don't want to be arrogant and say, oh, she was terrible. No, she wasn't. Was she 100%? She was sound. She looked good. Mark thought she raced well. I don't think he truly understands how good she is. He said, I backed her up to let Dexter in because I wanted to follow him. He said, I did follow him. He said, she faltered a little bit. But he said, Anthony, they were flying. Last quarter in 26 and a piece, last half 50, whatever, 3, 4. He said, I thought she raced okay, but I don't think that he realizes that she is as good as those 3 in front of her. So the horse that I saw looked sound, but her gait looked a little forced. Did she tie up a little bit and then ship down to the Poconos? That's possible. I'm not sure. We're going to do blood work on her, and then we will know exactly what took place with respect to Perfect Thought soon enough. But I wasn't disappointed with her mile. 50-1, 27-2 on the end of it in a $250,000 race. There's no complaints. You can say that she was a little flat, and you'd be right. But I don't think she raced poorly. I was very happy. She looked sound. And again, we have normal shoes on her up front. We got to get the flip-flops back on her up front, and we will. And I think she's a much better horse with them on. We just couldn't put them on those feet just yet, but they'll be back on very, very soon. Dixie Dream 10-hole, one of my partners, Nick, messaged me. We've got to get rid of this horse. $1,000,000 out of the 10-hole. Well, to be fair, anytime you leave 10 at Mohawk, you're going to be long odds unless you're a layover. And it is, same type of thing, that ladder racing, which I hate. But with Dixie Dream, race good, race okay, race good, race okay. She's going to drop down next week. We'll see how she races. But I know that I don't mind Dixie Dream. I had a good conversation with James about Dixie Dream middle of the week in Charlottetown. And he said, she's an okay horse. He said, she'll pick away. She'll do good. When you get up high, she won't. When you get down a little bit lower, you know what I hate? I hate racing those horses like that. But that's one of those horses. I was hoping she'd be an open filly at the Meadows and at Northfield. She just isn't quite. So here we are, racing her. Nuclear made a rare break, but I was talking to one of our clients. I think it might have been Trevor, and he said the track was terrible. He said it poured rain, and there was other horses making breaks. The track was bad. He's only made that one break when his hobbles were a hair long the one day. So I'm more apt to say, yeah. Honey, will you bring those drinks in?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Just be very careful with them, okay? We didn't come all this way to have them drop. Are you okay with them?
I think so.
Okay. Just be careful. Don't rush. Do you need me to carry them? Don't worry about the door either. Don't worry about the door. Nuclear made a rare break. I haven't heard any issues of him being sore or anything. I think it was one of these times where he's advancing on the inside. And what happens is when you're advancing on the outside, the horses might run in a bit, but they're a little more straight. When you're down along the rail, they're in a little bit more, especially when you're trying to advance. And then if you get a rail that's chewed up and maybe isn't that good, I could see him losing himself and rolling off. He's done it before, so once for us. But I haven't heard of any lameness or anything wrong with Nuclear, so not the end of the world. Barcelona Mickey, I thought race good. You just can't. No more taking him back, right? Training him, we protected him at the start. Now he's a racehorse. We're going to race him. And that's not me saying Tyler should have. No, I'm not saying that. But from now on, he'll be raced. There'll be no more ducking him and dragging him off the gate. We entered him in a race. We're going to race him. And the next time he races, you're going to see. So Barcelona Mickey, I thought he raced fantastic. And Bray, it's tough to get a true read when you're going slower and you're on a bit of a bull ring. But, you know, last night, I just get the feeling that horse, when you take him back, he's kind of like, there's a lot of horses in front of me. We'll get one or two maybe, but all of them, that's a lot. It's kind of the feeling I get from Mickey. Neptune, same thing, dragging him off the gate. But again, a little bit different situation. I think Tyler was a little more protective. He thought if he got him away in the middle, run him through, he'd be fine. But he's another horse. You need to advance with him, right? And when it came to the way the race played out last night, I just don't think there's anything he could do. So Neptune, it just was, a product of the draw, I think, mostly. And then Solidarity, I know that we have our eyes on the Stallion Series with him next week at the Meadows. So, Brett drug him off the gate, 3 wide in the last turn. He's been off a week. There was a lot going on there. Next week there'll be nothing going on, but full speed ahead. So when it comes to Solidarity, I think it was a prep race for a stake race next week. They didn't want to get into the weeds, leaving out maybe getting him pinned in where he might shut his air off, or maybe he was going to get hot, or maybe he had to get him going again. So Brett played it safe, 3 wide around the last turn. I think he was 5th, wasn't he? 5th or 6th? 5th or 6th, closing on the end of it again, but I think he'll be that much better. He'll be that much better next week with respect to racing in the Stallion Series. He is a fringe player in the Stallion Series. I would put him in probably very similar to Complete Unknown, except maybe in a better spot. Like Complete Unknown in the Stallion Series final right now would be 20-1, unless he drew in a very favorable position. Whereas Solidarity probably around that 10 to 12 to 1 odds. But I think I think he is a fringe player. He's the type of horse, you get him away third, you get to run him through the inside maybe, and then, pick up some horses that are a little vulnerable in the front. He could do that. He could pace 49, 50, 51 at the Meadows next week if it was a good track. And I think that's probably what you're going to see with respect to Solidarity. So we have some horses racing today. We have some horses that are getting ready for the fall stakes also. We have about 6 that are ready to qualify. We're going to turn some out. We're going to talk about all the horses we drive down the road. The opening is done now. The 2-year-old video will be a little easier this week. The 3-year-old, the 4-year-old, I think between here and the airport, we can get those videos done. We're going to stop over at my mom's farm. We're going to leave here in a little bit, stop over there and get a look at what she has going on. But it's just, I missed it. I did. I missed home, and it was great. It was great to spend a whole week catching up with people I hadn't seen in a very, very long time. So, anyway, take care, everybody. I will talk to you soon. We still have a lot going on. I'm in Kentucky Monday, Northfield Monday night. We have horses racing tonight at Northfield Park. I wasn't going to drive them. Got to get the kids home. The kids go to school. They start back in school tomorrow. So I'll be in Kentucky. I'll be at Northfield Tuesday. I think we're supposed to be in a fair, aren't we, on Tuesday? I better ask Jason. They might be drawing soon. Anyway, take care, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. I hope you had a great week, because I most definitely did.